Hey friends, welcome back. This is Ashley with Uncommon Roots Homestead, and we want to talk about our first 24 hours owning a cow. Let's do it. All right, so been cow owners for 24 hours.
Glorious 24 hours.
What have you learned so far?
They just kind of do what they want to do. So if you want to treat them like a pet,
They don't like
it's
love
difficult.
you immediately the way like a dog does, which I mean, they're not a dog, but
Yeah.
I guess in my head, I like envisioned her just like standing and letting me brush her and like,
She lets you brush her if you have food.
right,
But
yeah. I just thought it would be all cuddles right from the beginning. It's not. I mean, she's very friendly. We got a really docile, friendly cow.
Mhm.
So I'm sure it's normally even like worse, but she definitely is doing her own thing. Jeannie girl, come here. Come here. Come here. She's pretty much gonna do what she wants to do. What else do you think you've learned?
I think specifically for us, it's probably not this way for everyone, but I think we might have over-researched.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, we've got a large animal and it's a big responsibility. So I hope I'm not making light of that. But at the same time, it's one cow. You know, we have plenty of space for it. We've prepped pretty well. I was pretty anxious thinking that we, weren't prepared and that it was going to be super difficult. But so far, I felt like we've done a lot of research and maybe
Like
freaked
past
ourselves
the
out a
point
little
of like
bit.
healthy research, right?
Yeah, freaked ourselves out a little bit about every little thing. For example, like clover was something we were worried about. We had heard and read that clover's not great for cows,
Could cause
but
bloat.
it can cause bloat.
Which it does, like that's true. But she's been born and raised in this area of Tennessee, and she's grown up on pastures with clover. We bought her from Freedom Farms. They are the largest Dexter breeder in the United States. And, I was talking to Sally over there. I was like, okay, so what about the clover? And she just kind of laughed and was like, you guys got to stop researching. Because sometimes it's good to have information. And, we're pretty, we feel strongly that you shouldn't go into anything without having done some research and understand what you're getting yourself into, because we want to be the best stewards of everything that we have, and especially the animals that are under our care. So we don't want to bring any animal onto the farm that we haven't prepared for.
Right.
But that being said,
But yeah, she said as long as they're not eating exclusively clover or just huge amounts of it, most likely they'll be fine.
and she said a little bit of bloat is totally normal. Like in the spring, most cows have a little bit of bloat when they're on a new pasture that's growing. So she said, in fact, in the next couple weeks, she would assume that Jeannie would be a little bit bloated. And because I made a joke when she got out, I was like, oh, she doesn't even look that pregnant. She was like, you're not even going to be able to tell if she looks pregnant, because on this grass, she's going to be huge in a couple days.
I think in one day she already looks a little bigger too.
Yeah, she does. And so had we not kind of had that conversation and talked to her, I think all of the research would have just made us really worried at this point where, we're watching for other signs. Obviously we're going to take as best care of her as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that nothing will happen, right? Things happen all the time that are outside of your control, but we kind of got to the point in our research where we just over learned about everything.
Yeah. So that was a big thing for me. I'm a worrier too, so Ashley's a researcher, and then I worry about it after she researches all of it and passes the information on. So I was a little bit intimidated at first, but overall I don't think it's been as scary as I thought it would be. I think a little fear is healthy. This is a large
She's
animal.
huge, 1,000-pound animal, right?
Yep, and
800
it's a
pounds.
big responsibility, and you shouldn't take that lightly, like Ashley said. But at the same time, you have to learn somehow.
Yeah.
A lot of people online that you read stuff and, they try to intimidate you out of trying things,
Right.
trying new things, but there's really no other way to learn than by trying it and practicing and getting to know your animal and your land and all that. So, don't take it lightly, but at the same time, make sure you're taking a shot. And
lots of people do these things, and everybody starts where you're starting, right? Like with anything, with gardening, with animal husbandry, like with anything, it's like nobody starts as an expert. Like that's not possible. So that's why it like kills us when you try to get into something new or you're trying to learn about something, and like especially with homesteading and sustainability, like you get a little bit of resistance from certain groups that want to feel like it's exclusive. And for me, I'm like, that's totally undoing the purpose here. Like if we don't let other people in on the secret that we don't know what we're doing either, then they might never try. And so we don't know what we're doing. We're researching, we're using our brains, we're trying to be as smart as we can about things, but we're learning as we go. We've been cow owners for exactly 24 hours at this point. So it's like, of course we don't know everything. We haven't had to deal with many of the things that I'm sure we'll have to deal with over the next 10 years. But for now, what we do know is that keeping a cow in a pasture is not that difficult. And they're large livestock, which comes with a unique set of issues if they have issues. But Dexters are a really hardy breed. They don't generally have a lot of issues, childbearing or anything like that. They are good grazers. They're really a pretty, like on the scale of like how complicated cows can be, Dexters are pretty easy. They're a heritage breed, so what that means is that they just haven't been like bred down for generations and generations for a specific thing. They're dual purpose, and they're pretty much, today really similar to how God made them, like how they started. And so we thought that was really cool. There's like, you hear about heritage breed, like, or heritage things like seeds and things like that haven't been, changed over time. But it's cool to actually like start learning about heritage animals that haven't changed over time. And so like she's not been bred for milk production. Like she will probably give us, maybe a gallon a day. For us, that's perfect. We didn't really need like the 8 gallons a day or so that you can get with a Jersey. And that also means she doesn't come with a lot of the same issues that Jerseys come with. And so for us being our first time in and having, other things on the homestead that we're doing at the same time, that was important to us, and having animals that were, less likely to have complications due to their breeding. So that's kind of why we chose Jeannie. And then Dexters are by nature smaller in stature. She actually is a chondro carrier, so she's even smaller than a normal Dexter. It's kind of like a mini Dexter, I guess you would call her. She's an A2 carrier. I think we might have talked about that in the last video, but that means that her A2, and it's the beta casein protein that is in the milk. It can be A1 or A2. Most milk you buy at the grocery store is A1. But Dexters most commonly carry A2. She's been tested, and that's the kind of milk she has. It means humans will be able to digest her milk easier. There were a lot of reasons that we went with a Dexter, and not to like, and the least, not least on the list was that the largest Dexter breeder in the United States is just 45 minutes from us, and so we got a chance to go and talk to them and learn about the breed. And
that's where the research comes into play, where you can probably not do enough research. So
right, well, exactly.
Finding the best animal for you, the best breed for you. Somewhere you want to spend your time and your research. And that'll make everything a little bit easier on the back end.
Yeah, and making sure that you found a reputable breeder too. There are a lot of ways to get cows. We talked to friends who are like, we got them on Craigslist, or we did this or did that. And we started looking into those things and then realized that with the number of tests that we were going to want to do, she came fully tested, right? She's been tested for yonis and all these other, there were like 7 different things that they were testing her for. And so we know that she's in good health. Like we knew that she wasn't going to be carrying anything onto the farm that would be bad or that would leave us heartbroken, in just a little bit of time. So for us, that was the decision that made sense. Now, if you have a huge family or you're like in this for the dairy and you want lots of cheese and things like that, then maybe a one Dexter isn't going to be your best option. She's not going to give us an exorbitant amount of milk. We're going to get enough for our family and to make probably some mozzarella every week. But yeah, it all depends on what you're looking for and what you want. I don't think there's a wrong answer. That's just why we chose to go with her. But I'll take you over and let you meet her and let you get back to work.
Perfect.
All right. Were you trying to talk to us? Hi. Let's see. Hey, Jeannie girl. Hi. What you doing, Mama? Do you like living here? I think she does. I would be amiss if I did not show you what I have going on in the garden before I let you go. First, my sweet friend Taylor made me this potager garden sign. I absolutely love it. I'm going to put it right here, right at the entrance of the garden. But we are getting there. All right, so while that water is pouring, I figured I would show you what we're working with. So this is the bed that I planted probably 2 weeks ago. It's dry, I need to water, but I've got some spinach that's coming along really nicely. And then I've got beets, cut and come again lettuce, beets, lettuce, beets, some butter crunch lettuce, and then there at the end I've got some Merlot lettuce. All right, friends, something has taken up residence. I think it's bunnies. Bunnies can't stay here. This won't work. So now I need all the tips. What should I do? It's already got fur in it. I'm gonna guess that there's bunnies. I need to check. All right, so it looks like a rabbit's nest. There's a bunch of fur in it. I think what we need to do, I don't see the mom rabbit. I think I'm gonna have Kevin put on some gloves and pull the fur out and see if there's babies. If there aren't babies yet, we'll just remove the entire nest and fill it. We should have done that yesterday. I saw the hole yesterday and I didn't know what was making it. And so I didn't even think like, oh, it could be a nest. And so now that I'm seeing it completely covered over with the fur, I'm afraid there might already be babies in there. So obviously having rabbits living in your garden is horrible. I mean, have you ever seen Peter Rabbit? Like it's not a good garden friend by any means. They'll eat my lettuce, they'll eat everything. In fact, now that I'm saying that, I'm actually seeing that this lettuce right here was already chomped. So if they have already been laid, I'm not sure what we'll do. I'm not sure. Leave me your thoughts below. Let me know what you would do if they're there. And I'm gonna get Kevin to come pull it out. He said no, but he's gonna do it. He will. Yeah, just pull it away. There are babies in there. Yeah.
There are, yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, they're just little babies. They were just laid yesterday, Mama. So, bunnies. And they were born today or yesterday then, because literally yesterday I saw the hole and I said, what made this hole? And we haven't seen any rabbits around. Rabbits are not good for the garden, and I really didn't want to have to put in a fence. And I don't want to kill them, so. Oh. What would you do? Kev said put him in a cage. He wore gloves, so usually it's kind of a myth. Like people say, don't touch the baby rabbits. The mom won't come back for them. That's kind of a myth. Usually the mom comes back. But anyways, he wore a glove just to not disturb him too much. But good night. I'm actually surprised that the rest of this lettuce isn't chomped more. Let me know what you would do. So one other thing that we hadn't told you guys yet is that with Jeannie, we also acquired, who did we get? Cats. Who's that? Who's behind you? Bobby. We acquired a couple of barn cats. Hi. Hey, Bobby. So,
my cats are really big. They keep on 42 salads.
So, kind of like adding.
Mommy, is it nice feeding my cat?
So kind of adding to the issue of having bunnies, baby bunnies in the garden, the two barn cats right now, they're living in the garage, totally closed in. We want them to get used to us, to know that like this is kind of home-based, to know where their food is, their water is. But then we're gonna start letting them out and letting them roam the farm. Those babies don't stand a chance with these two, unfortunately. So, I mean, that is the circle of life. That is nature. That is life on a farm. These cats, their entire job is to keep rodents down and out.
And I like cats.
And Isla is loving the cats. Where's Robin?
He's in the daddy's stuff.
Oh, he's in Daddy's stuff?
Yeah.
Show us.
Oh, keep going. Yeah. Watch out for my cat going under those. They're...
Where is he? Robin, what are you doing in there? Just hanging out?
Yeah, he wants to get in. But my little kitty doesn't like it.
Also, can we just appreciate for a minute how tall this grass is? We need to mow. Kev, what are you working on? Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? We're getting bees, huh?
Bees coming. Yep. When these instructions are not very helpful.
So, yeah. First 24 hours with our brand new family cow. Our family milk cow, though obviously she's not in milk yet. And in just a couple of days, we're adding bees to the mix. And apparently a family of bunnies that I need to figure out. I'm gonna go down and check on the fruit trees and then I'll let you go. I feel like I'm like walking through the jungle. It's dangerous. That's why you wear rubber boots. You never know. You never know what's in tall grass. Let's see what these fig trees look like. So here is our fig tree that used to live in a container. And I am seeing some good growth. Let's see if we can get it to focus. I'm seeing a couple of little fig. This looks like he's gonna pull through. I don't expect much fruit off of this because I just replanted him last year. And then I've got this little baby. It's just a 2-year-old and definitely needs to be weeded around. But again, he's got some good growth here too. Looking pretty healthy. And then I've got this one. Definitely feeling the effects of that freeze that we got. You can see some of the growth that had started to pop out is dying, but I see some new green growth there at the top. So I think he'll be okay. And then got this little guy. I'm not seeing a lot there yet. And then I've got this one. And same, I'm seeing some like green growth there, but I don't know if we'll get many figs just in total this year. This is their first full year in the ground, so not too worried about it. Blueberries all look great down here. We had 18, but I just planted 4 more. So we've got 22 blueberries, 2 elderberries just behind this tree. Nice little birdie. I've got 3 raspberries up behind that tree as well. They get sun most of the day, where it's late afternoon or evening, I guess. This, I think it may be a pin cherry tree, but all the fruit fell off. And then I've got apple trees, some plum trees, some pear trees, and then some more apple trees up towards the top. Well, friends, thank you. Thanks for joining us as we kind of took some time to reflect on our first 24 hours with a family milk cow. And thanks for walking through my garden with me. We're about to be in the peak of our season. This garden is about to be full of amazing things, hopefully not completely ravaged by a family of bunnies that we have too much compassion for, but to be determined. Until next time.